Hi, this is another edition of Stuart Show, starring myself, Stuart Dahl. I am coming to you live from my house right here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, where Winnipeg is currently under, there's a heat warning currently in effect for Winnipeg, and I think for much of southwestern, maybe eastern Manitoba. But right now in Winnipeg, the temperature is 26 degrees and it feels like 33 degrees. And it's going to get hotter tomorrow, but it's supposed to cool down slightly for the weekend, and chance of some showers and that, which will be good. And rain, which kind of helps it a little bit. Now let's just get right into my show. As you all know, last year was the first year that that speed limits in school zones, in most school zones around Winnipeg, have been reduced to 30 kilometers an hour. Well, I'm going to read you an article. This is from Winnipeg Global News Winnipeg website. It is titled "Drivers Ticketed for Speeding in School Zone." One after another, drivers are clocked speeding in school zones as the speed limit changed today to 30 kilometers an hour Tuesday. Winnipeg Police Constable J.P. Connery was set up in front of Dalhousie School this morning, catching more than a dozen speeders in less than an hour. This is your speed, said Connery, showing a motorist he pulled over. He pulled over. Her speed has on his radar gun. The speed limit reduces to 30 kilometers an hour during school zones, which start today. Oh, it doesn't. It is. Said the surprised motorist. I thought it started on the 9th. Well, most schools do not return to school until September 9th or 10th. The school zone speed limit drops September 1st, and which is being enforced. While Constable Connery handed out tickets, and he given warnings to drivers who had a clean driving record. It is the first day some people will get a warning. The 30 km/h speed limit is in effect Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Last year, from October to June, 40,077 fines were handed out to speeders in school zones. So still, once September 1st, hit, yesterday, it should, pardon my language, but it really should have fucking dawned on people, oh, they were like, oh, I didn't know the speed limit in school zones was reduced to 30 kilometers an hour starting today. Oh, I'm a complete dumbass. And yes, I'm making fun of drivers because, really, they really should bloody fucking know this, shit by now. But no, some drivers are just bloody stupid in the goddamn cocksucking head. Anyway, so that's just my honest opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion, but for some of you people, if you don't like my opinions in that, I will tell you where to go and how to get there. And then basically, in other words, for anybody that doesn't like my opinions, can all just piss right off. But because I'm entitled to my opinions, and opinions, and I do not take crap from other people saying, "Oh, your opinion's wrong," you know, da 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 da. Well, guess what? Piss off. Anyways, but not to you, you know, YouTube, any of you YouTubers and that. This is just, you know, other people in general that, you know, that may not like my opinions when it comes to, you know, drivers and that, you know, but, you know, YouTubers are fine, so. Anyways, I think now, since, the schools, what was I gonna say, here's another article from CTV News Winnipeg. It is titled, "School Board Chair Proposes Reducing Speeds Year-Round in School Zones." It is the time of the year again to slow down around elementary schools or risk a hefty ticket. On September 1st, the 30-kilometer-hour speed limit is back in effect in Winnipeg for the school year. Even though many students don't go back to school until next week. To clear up the confusion and to make it safer, Winnipeg School Division Board Chair Mark can't remember his name, says the reduced speed limits should be in place year-round, including on weekends. Walls Way, or whatever his last name is, said many families use school playgrounds outside regular hours, so I think it would make it simpler and fair to everyone and safer to have one law that applies year-round. Calgary recently extended its reduced speed zones year-round round and into the evenings and weekends. So, like, I so, like, this should go to show you that, drivers really, like, this school year round, unless you want to risk a really hefty ticket of, I believe it's $181 to over $300, depending, how far you go over the 30-kilometer-hour speed limit in certain school zones. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Like, I think this is just my honest opinion. I think the school zone bylaw should be in place year-round, not just during the school year. It should be placed year-round and like into the evenings and on the weekends, because some children use the school ground playground after regular hours, just to make it much safer for kids and more easier for drivers. And then come September, they don't go off and get all pissy and that because of the change in the speed limits. Well, here's the thing, and this is for some drivers. If you bloody drivers are blind enough or just plain stupid enough not to see the 30-kilometer-hour speed limit when you go into certain school zones, then I really hate to say this, you fall under the category of a dumb cop, which is basically you're a stupid head in German. So yeah, but that's just my honest opinion. Like I said before, I'm entitled to my opinion, when it comes to matters like this. And if people don't like my opinions, I'll tell them, where to go and how to get there. And they can just, basically, basically all just, just bug off, type of thing. What was I gonna say? anyways, what was I gonna say? Well, anyways, was a rate right now. Right now, Europe is basically facing criticism over how it is handling the biggest migrant crisis since World War II. A school of for migrants in Calais, France. And if you people do not know where Calais, France is, it's situated in France, but it's more situated, on the French coast, like like more on the French coast, like towards the Atlantic Ocean. Basically, where one of the many fortifications, if you guys do not know your history, one of the many fortifications that stretched along what was called the Atlantic Wall, which is basically Hitler wanted built to protect his Third Reich from an invasion from the sea by the Western Allies. And so that's basically where Calais, France is. It's more to the coast, by basically towards the Atlantic Ocean. Long story short, and it's not even that far from England if you think of it geographically. Like it's literally Calais, France is literally a skip and a hop across the English Channel. In other words. So yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? Anyways, like I said, this migrant crisis is literally just getting really out of control right now. And what was I gonna say? Basically, like some of these migrants, that are, trying to come over, are basically coming from like Syria and Africa and other Middle Eastern countries that are trying to escape, war and persecution, in their own countries. And I sympathize with them. They want all these migrants wandering, a better life for themselves and their families. But the thing is they're basically getting sucked in by these human smugglers, and these human smugglers are taking advantage of these migrants, and that fact that they want a better life in that, and they that's just completely wrong in my opinion. Here's an interesting story. This is out of Budapest, which is the Hungarian capital. Hundreds of migrants have been protesting outside a major rail station in the Hungarian capital after police sealed off the terminal to stop them from traveling through the EU. Crowds of people chanted Germany and waved train tickets after being forced to leave the Calais station in Budapest. Hungary is trying to restore order and enforce EU rules, officials say. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Angela Merkel has called for a fair distribution of refugees across Europe. Austrian police said that 3,650 migrants have arrived in the Austrian capital Vienna from Hungary on Monday, with most of them heading for Germany. About 1,400 of them had arrived in Munich, southern Germany by Tuesday morning, after traveling through Austria, and more are expected. Hungarian officials had early appeared to abandon efforts to register them under EU rules, which says they should seek asylum in the first EU country they enter, correspondents say. So yeah. So again, it just goes to show you that right now that Europe is facing its biggest migrant crisis since World War II. Some people may think, some EU countries are doing, something, some are not doing anything, and that. So, but I really, honestly, do not have an honest opinion on the matter, and that. But anyhow, I just, what was I gonna say? Here's another, story, in regards to the migrant crisis. Hungarian police have detained a fifth suspect in the for migrant deaths in truck. In Hungary, and then there's another one article basically saying, Hungary is accused of, of treating refugees inhumanely as migration or whatever. Like, like I said, like some EU countries should be doing a lot more than this, but whatever. It's politics in Europe. What do you expect? This migrant crisis is, big old, shitstorm on all the EU countries right now. And what else? Anyways, for you people that do not know about World War II. World War II. Yesterday was the 75th anniversary of the start of World War II, aka the German invasion of Poland. Because in other words, for Hitler and Nazi Germany to survive, they wanted to conquer swathes of territory, like in Western Europe, but also in Eastern Europe. Yeah, more like in the Soviet Union type of thing. What was I going to say? This is an article in relation, to the start of World War II, the 70th anniversary of the beginning of World War II. Like I said, it began on September 1st, 1939, with the German invasion of Poland, and it was at about, I believe it was at about 4:45 a.m. on September 1st, 1939, when the pre-dawn skies lit up as a result of a German battleship. Basically the pre-dawn skies lit up over the Baltic Sea as a result of a German warship opened firing on a Polish fortress, and that kind of signaled the beginning of World War II, which was to last basically from September 1st, 1939 to September 2nd, 1945. So it pretty much engulfed Europe for 6 years, and that, and like I said, it really goes to show you that it goes to show you that World War II is considered the most, I think, in my opinion, the most terrible conflict in human history, because of the magnitude of of that. Like I said, it just goes to show you that like I said, World War II was was a brutal conflict in human history. What was I going to say? And there was also, and one of the things I'm going to read you a little bit of this. This is in relation to World War II. The Japanese forces in the Manchu had a sporadic border clashes with the Soviet Union and Mongolia, culminating in the Japanese defeat at Khalkhin Gol in 1939. After this, Japan and the Soviet Union signed a neutrality pact in April 1941, and Japan turned its focus further south, which had eventually led to its war with the United States and the Western Allies, which, in my opinion, that was not the smartest idea. And then in Europe, Germany and Italy were becoming more aggressive. In March 1938, Germany annexed Austria, and again provoking a little response from the European powers. Encouraged, Hitler began pressing German claims on the Sudetenland, an area of Czechoslovakia which is predominantly ethnic, with an predominantly ethnic German population. And soon after, Britain and France followed with the Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, and conceded this territory to Germany in the Munich Agreement, in which was made against the wishes of the Czechoslovak government, in exchange for a promise of no further territorial demands. Soon afterwards, Germany and Italy forced the Czechoslovakia to exceed additional territory to Hungary and Poland. So this just goes to show you that, like I said, this kind of what, like, I think what really started World War II, and that was kind of the build up of that, was basically it all kind of boiled over like after World War I, as because Germany was defeated as a consequence of their actions, basically saying that Germany started World War I. But like I said, I think if Germany had not invaded Poland in the first place and had listened to France and the British Empire and withdrew its troops from Poland immediately, I think World War II could have been avoided entirely. But no, Hitler wanted to conquer conquer territory by force. And so anyway, so like I said, World War II was, like I said, the most terrible conflict in history, because a lot of civilians died, a lot of military personnel died, and a lot of equipment was basically destroyed. And that, what else? I think that's pretty much it for my show. This has been another edition of the Stuart Dahl Show. For you young people, stay in school, stay out of trouble, and you will do fine. And Auf Wiedersehen, peace, and bye-bye, and stay cool for my friends. And for you younger kids, stay safe on the road and that this school year. And that, and look out for drivers in your school zones. And for you people, if you notice any drivers that that are not obeying the 30-kilometer speed limit, make sure you call the police right away. Otherwise, just try to be safe this school year. But first and foremost, so yeah, Auf Wiedersehen, peace, bye bye, and stay cool, my friends.